Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me. All right, we'll wait for some people to roll in and then we'll get started. What I wanted to go over, as the title suggests, were this week's wins. Specifically the wins from the Financial Freedom Academy, which is, for those of you who don't know, the program I run where I help busy professionals secure their finances and build a structured, set and forget, built for you, tailored roadmap for achieving a comfortable early retirement. So this week has been a huge week and we are busy, but we are pumping out results like crazy at the moment, and it's pretty incredible. I wanted to highlight 4 main wins that we've had this week for people in the program, and this is just this week, by the way. So first of all, we've got my man Rick, who joined with the goal of eliminating his debt. We've been able to reduce his debt repayment term by 45 months, so the best part of 3.5 years. We've also helped him save around $15,000 in interest by putting that plan in place for him. That's just one win this week. We then have, let me find the page, we then have James. So James joined my program wanting to be able to make sure that he could retire comfortably and just at all, really. He started at the age of 46 when he joined the program, thinking that he'd be lucky if he was lucky to be able to retire by 67 and not be living in poverty. That's what he thought his future had in store for him. By making some really simple optimizations and tweaking his plan, making his money work for him in the most optimal way possible, by like I said, making those optimizations, he now has a plan in place that's going to allow him to retire very comfortably by the age of 61. So going from thinking that he was going to be in poverty at the age of 67 and retiring then, to retiring comfortably and not being in poverty at the age of 61. That's the difference. This is the difference that the Academy is making for people. And that's not the only story that's kind of relevant to the retirement side of things. So that was James. First of all was Rick, that was James. Then we have Darren. So Darren started in the program at 47. So similar kind of age to James. He thought he'd left it too late to be able to retire before 67 and to be able to live comfortably. He hadn't had that much saved for retirement, had no real plans in place, had some retirement savings and investments via his workplace pension and things like that, but no idea really how to optimize it or what he needed to do to fill the gap between what he had and what he needed to have, because he didn't know what he did need to have in the first place. So it's really tricky to know what you need to do when you don't actually have a goal to work against. And this is what we're putting in place. So he's 47, he thought he was going to be working for at least another 20 years. Actually, he's only going to have to work for another 12 years. So we've got a plan in place now to allow him to retire at 60. That's game changing, right? That's 8 years or less of work that he's going to have to do to be able to achieve a comfortable early retirement. So that's James, that's Darren, and then we have Mihal. So Mihal joined the program at 49 and he had nothing saved for retirement, literally zero. He'd been running his own company as an accountant for years, but had not saved a single cent for retirement, which is a really tricky place to start from when you're 49 and you want to be able to retire before it's too late, essentially before you're dead. So starting from zero, save for retirement, he thought he was utterly screwed, to be honest with you. He's now set to be able to retire by 66, which for most people is like a best case scenario. That's his worst case scenario. And he was starting from nothing at 49. So I suppose the point I really wanted to make by highlighting these wins that we've had this week is to emphasize the importance of having a goal to work towards, because all of these people, whether they were starting from zero or some amount of money, had no idea what to do with what they had, if they had anything, because they didn't know what they were working towards at the end of the journey, or where the end of the journey even was, right? And if you don't have a point A, your starting point, and a point B, then how do you know how to build an effective plan to get from that point A to that point B, right? You can't. You're just going to be winging it. You're going to be living in a constant state of uncertainty and fear and ultimately dread of the future, because you have no idea what your future holds for you. by getting a plan in place that shows you how to get from where you are now to where you want to be, and also that helps you establish where it is you actually want to be, right? That end goal, by having a plan that establishes that end goal and then building a plan to get from that point A to point B, it alleviates a ton of pressure. It completely removes the fear and the uncertainty and the dread from your equation, and allows you to look forward to your future with certainty and clarity, and also just excitement, right, over knowing where you're going to be by when, which I think is really important, because that's something very few people have. Probably 99.999% of society have no idea what their future has in store for them in terms of their retirement goals, because they've never given it a thought, or they've given it a thought but they've never known what to do about it because they're just not educated on the space, which is a shame, really. So I've put together something that should help, and what this is essentially a guide that is helping you remove the mistakes that you're currently making from your personal finances. And I'm going to bring myself up at the page here, which has the numbers on it, because it's important that I don't get them wrong. But essentially, I've written a free guide called The 3 Money Murdering Mistakes That No Financial Advisor Would Dare Tell You. And these are the mistakes that, having worked with over 100 people now, one-on-one over the last couple of years, helping them improve their financial circumstances, every one of them was making at least one or more of these mistakes. So what I've come to realize is that everyone is making at least one or more of these mistakes, and the cost of them, on average, over a 25-year time frame, over a 25-year investing time frame, is £569,000 that you will either have less in your pocket for retirement, or that you will have to contribute extra out of your own pocket over that time frame to get to the retirement that you want. So, like I said, this is something that is going to save people over $500,000 over their investing lifetime, because we're talking about a 25-year time frame here. That's around £27,000 per month compounded over that time frame. It may be a smaller number than that now, but compounded, it ramps up. So then averaged out over that time frame, it's 27 grand a month that this is going to save you over 25 years, which is insane. So this is something I could charge a lot of money for, but part of what I do is trying to send the elevator back down to those people who need to be made aware that there's a problem that they didn't even know they had, so that they can address that problem and seek help. So this guide is the intention is to help you to do exactly that, to show you the mistakes that you are making, or the things that you aren't doing that are costing you money as a result. So if you'd like a copy of this guide, obviously I can't link it anywhere on this chat, on this live stream, but all you need to do is just comment the word 3, just THREE, and I will DM you a link where you can go and download this free guide. Okay, at that link you'll be able to put in your information so that you can register to get your copy. It will be sent to you via email immediately. If you don't get it immediately, then check your junk and your spam, because it will just be in there. You'll then be shown a page where you'll get an option to upgrade to a one-on-one strategy call, which, if you want to take it, is only $9. This is something that I'd normally charge $997 for a 60-minute one-on-one strategy call, where I'm essentially going to be giving you a roadmap for what you need to do to get yourself on the right tracks with your finances. It's going to set you up to be in a very, very good position. But for the first 100 people that download this guide, it's only going to be $9. And I'm only giving away 5 of those calls. Okay, the first 100 are going to get the option, but only 5 of them are going to be available this week, and then 5 next week. So if that's something that sounds of interest to you, and you want to put an extra £500,000 or around $700,000 in your pocket for retirement over the next 25 years, at no extra cost to you, just by fixing the mistakes that you're already making, then comment the word 3 and I will send you that guide. That's all for this. I just want to do a quick one to highlight the wins. This is something I'm going to start doing regularly to demonstrate the importance of having a plan, understanding what your goal is, and then building a plan to achieve that goal, and having the right tools and processes in place to help you do that in the most efficient and cost-effective and tax-efficient way possible as well. So if you need anything from me, DM me. I'm always available to help. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll speak to you all soon.